I think we may now know why NewState lags so much. Welcome guys! Today, we will be comparing PUBG Mobile and PUBG NewState. This comparison will mainly be about how much of the GPU and CPU do these two games consume. Let's get started. Now do note that I've set both games at the lowest graphical settings on 30 FPS to get the least amount of frame drops and stutters. We will be taking 3 measurements, one before the match, one on the plane, and lastly on the ground. We will be doing the ground measure on Zarky for both games.
First off, PUBG Mobile.
Now on the spawn island, we get right around 43% on the GPU and a few points above 50% on the CPU. So what about NewState's? Well there my friends, even though the spawn island in NewState is less busy, we can see that the CPU is firing at almost 100% while the GPU is just below 50%. Next up, the plane. So on PUBG Mobile we're getting right around sub 40% on both the CPU and GPU, with the CPU occasionally popping above 40%. Now for NewState. Okay, so results are up and we're getting around a toasty 70% on the GPU and a close to a searing 90% before going down to the 60s on the CPU. No wonder many experience overheating and battery drainage. For the last comparison, we will take 2 measurements from different directions in Zarky. Okay, so the numbers are here, and PUBG Mobile is still below 50% on both the CPU and GPU, being only in the 41 and 47 range. And now we look at NewState. We get right around 66% on the GPU and just below 50% on the CPU with occasional spikes past 50%. Now for the second one, we'll be looking at trees to test if there are any difference. On PUBG Mobile, we still get the nice and stable sub 50% on both the CPU and GPU. That's a very nice thing to see. This goes to show how optimized this game is. Next, for NewState. On the CPU, we are getting the occasional 50% plus before going down to the sub 50s, while on the GPU, we are getting 66%. So what does this mean? Well, once the NewState is clearly unoptimized and constantly requires more power from the GPU. Since mobile GPUs aren't really that powerful, especially in the Android side of things, this may be the reason as to the poor experience of many players even when using older flagships like the ROG 5 and iPhone 11. And with NewState's number being really up there, this causes overheating and battery drainage which affects performance. However, this is not a reason for players who can still play the game to quit, as this game is only a month old, 2 months old, and will be getting optimizations in the future, though we would have preferred a more optimized experience than we currently have now. So this is the end of my video. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one. Peace.